Okay, so welcome to the Game Lounge, and I remember playing this game from back in the day, like way back in the day, realistically. And this is Final Fight, the arcade version of Final Fight. Let's talk about this. So this is a video. This is courtesy of Arcade Games Freak. This was a very fun game to play. I put the sound on mute because I didn't want to snip the sound. And in the arcade, it was pretty cool to look at this in the arcade because you had Cody, Guy, and Hagar. I believe he was like just a ninja. He's just like a street ninja. This guy was like a street fighter. Hello. And he was the mayor of who they call I guess they lived in Metro City, and just everything just all hell broke loose. The Mad Gear Gang took over the city. Now originally this was Street Fighter. So if you didn't know that, this was what was gonna be Street Fighter. And that's why they made appearances in Street Fighter. That's why the car, when you do the bonus stage in Street Fighter, it comes from this game. They go back to Metro City and you're at a gas station and you break the car in the original Street Fighter 2. And matter of fact, I think you can do it here too. If you damage the car with Cody and Hagar, we'll take a look at it. There's a guy that comes out of the left side and goes, "Dude, my car," and that's where that comes out. So let's take a look at just some gameplay. You can I like how you can select 3. He pretty much kidnapped the mayor's daughter. You know, I love what Cody. He had the flying knee. The arcade was significantly harder. It was like 50 cents per game, so you wasted a lot of money playing these games. They made their money. The arcades, they really made their money, and you can see that, you know, there was some cheesing in the game. You know, you see he kind of punched, turned away, punched again, but I just played, mashed buttons, got as far as I could. Now I've never made it past the second character until I actually started using the emulator. What's cool about it is you got this subway scene, which is, you know, this was probably one of the best looking scenes whenever I played this game. It's just really awesome to just feel like you're riding on the subway, you know. And you can pick up the weapons. That's right, I forgot. You pick up the weapons. You can, you know, stab these guys. You can make them, you know, it kills them faster, I guess, if you use the knife. You had the sword and the pipe. You had to get the what's that? The lamb over there. I'm not sure what that is. You had to get the lamb and stuff to make sure that you heal. But the boss of this stage, man, let me just fast forward to this guy, man. He was pretty rough. So the guy, whoever runs Arcade Freaks, they probably figured out how to beat him. But he was rough, man. Like, this guy, the damage output, look at that. That's the damage. His damage output just from that rush. I'd say where my cursor is, that's about 50%. So he takes about 26%. That's about 26% from his rush. And then you know, you make him drop his swords. He goes to try and pick up 2 of his swords. But you see, you have to punch him really fast. Now this is kind of a blur there. This is actually Sodom. So Sodom, what's cool is they made a lot of crossovers. Sodom made his appearance in Street Fighter Alpha. If they were to DLC anybody from Street Fighter 5 or into Street Fighter 5, in my opinion, they should bring Sodom back. Put him back into the game. He was a very competitive. He was extremely competitive in the alpha timeline, especially against Birdie, against Zangief, all the big. He was the added big guy. Plus, they redesigned Sodom. He was actually a bigger guy than he looks now. He looks like maybe this is a younger Sodom, and he always had that blue mask in the moon crescent helmet or something like that. It's really weird. And this was always cool, man, because you had the ring. Here's a guy that didn't really make an appearance. Now let me see. Okay, so let's go to the car scene. This is what I was talking about. Street Fighter. You know, so if you don't know where they got the car breaking scenes from, the barrel scenes, all that stuff, you know, they started it with Final Fight. And see, basically that's what you do. And note that the car was made from Japan, and in the original game, the closets, you break the car, you beat that, and then he walks out, he goes, "Oh my God." So that's the he says, "Oh my God." So you can tell that's the US version, but the world version, because they had all different kinds of cabinet arcades, he comes out and says, "Dude, my car." Matter of fact, no, I think this is the world version, because he says, "Oh my God." So there's a lot of things they put in the arcade games that they had to change in the US. You know, religious purposes. You can't say, you know, they probably took offense to "Oh my God," you know. So "Oh my God" was the world version. "Dude, my car" was the US version. But this was this was a pretty neat stage. You go to the club, same ordeal. Of course, you got to beat all the bad guys. That guy right there was pretty cool. Where my cursor is, it's probably a little blurry because of, you know, video or whatever. He blocks, so he can actually block your punches and stuff. He can't block the knife. Nobody can block the weapon, but if you punch, he does like this block. And that guy in the pink is I think it's Ondor, later Hugo. You know, so basically that's the Hugo from Street Fighter 3, Ultra Street Fighter 4, you know. Yeah, again with the cheesing, you know, he's doing that to, you know, we us gamers find little loopholes and stuff, you know, but those guys were pretty strong, Andor, all those guys. Who I haven't seen in a while, matter of fact, at all in Street Fighter, because this is kind of like a two-part stage. This guy right here, EDI or Eddie E. Supposedly he's a rogue cop, or he's like a corrupt cop. So, you know, this kind of you know, they put their little politics in these video games, but he's a corrupt cop working for the Mad Gear gang. And he has his gun. He uses his gun to freaking shoot you. I think at first he's joined by I don't know if it's this version. Like I said, I don't know what version he's using. It could be the Asian version, but at first he's joined by a couple goons. You take down the goons, and then you can fight him freely one-on-one. But like I said, he used this gun that was like 34. That was like 35% right there. At this point, you go up the ladder. You know, it's a pretty good game. There's your two girls, Roxy and Poison. You know, those are the only, pretty much the only girls in the game. What was awesome was, again, here's another Street Fighter. It made his first appearance, Rolento. So these guys are basically these guys are rivals to the end. You can see he beat him and it blew up. And then I just want to take one more look at one of the toughest bosses in the game, that in my opinion, one of the longest stages, the toughest bosses. This stage where you go to the city park. Street Fighter 5, you can fight literally the same guy that I'm gonna show you next in the city park. So if you don't know where he came from, his name, that fighter in particular, his name is Abigail. He look how tough this stage is. Just everything gets thrown at you, and that's what Final Fight was about, man. Let me see. Let's go right to him. Abigail was no joke in this game. So I want people to understand. There he is. So he was a tough SOB, man. He still was pretty big. You could see his level of strength is far exceeded. The gap between Rolento and his was like unmeasurable, man. So you need it. That's why he's carrying the sword. Because if you had to fight him one-on-one, so if you haven't, there's that attack he does in Street Fighter 5. He turns red and charge you, and when he does, it's unstoppable. It's a very, very powerful attack. So now his sword's gone. You know, he's on the verge of losing, pretty much, Abigail. And you see that when he charged, he had to use a special kick to actually beat him. And once he beats him, he puts him away. Again, I was always a big fan of Final Fight. If you've never played it, I definitely urge you to check it out. You know, most people don't play the beat 'em ups too much. They're like, I'm not into that. You know, hey, you like Fortnite? Oh man, you know. Stop and check these games out. They're really, this is a really, really good game. Because, you know, at this point, you know, going past everything I've done, it's pretty much the end. Like I said, it's, you know, after Abigail, it's like the final stage. Like I said, all the way till you get to Belger. You know, you haven't seen Belger since, I believe, Final Fight 2 or 3. So that was pretty much it. But yeah, again, check the game out. You know, give it your thoughts. I would like to hear your thoughts in the comment section. You know, thanks for watching. Have a nice day.